Hello, this is our project, Training Grounds, a Pokemon Battle Emulator. The project overview, we wanted to create an app where you could make an account, create teams, and play against other people online, uh, and have the app simulate the battle. For the general project architecture, we used React for the front end with a lot of MUI components. We used Koa to connect to our database, which is running MySQL and is hosted on DigitalOcean. And we use Socket.io for peer-to-peer connection, which was used mostly for messages and for battles itself. For the challenges, getting WebSockets to work took a lot longer than it should have, and it delayed the project quite a bit, adding at least an extra week that we didn't have. But once we got that working, we were able to get started on battles, and overall, the battle logic was a lot more complicated than we thought it would be. The move logic required things in our database that we didn't have, such as with the chances of the status effect being applied, how much would a stat change, um, and then getting online play to work with these different changes. Uh, the system we ended up coming up with was like a package system where React would handle all of the calculations that a move would create, and then we could wrap them up in a package that can be sent to the other user so that they can receive the package as the opponent package and then calculate what happens next based on what they received. So let's move on to the demo. So this is our demo. Here we have the login screen, which is the first screen you see when you first come in. You can log in to both of our already pre-made users. There is a create account function, but we won't be demonstrating it. So this is our homepage. You have three main sections. You have the team select section, which shows you the teams that you have. Each user is allowed up to 3 teams. You have the actual menu, which is made up of 4 buttons, and friends section, which allows you to add people as friends by typing in their username here. And there's also messages. So if you wanted to send someone a message, you would type in who you're sending it to. So if Q is sending a message to user and user is sending a message to Q, then they should be able to both type in real time and have it show up on the other person's screen. There is a create new team page in which you're allowed to create a new team based on the Pokemon that we have. When you hover over a Pokemon, it'll show the base stats, which are partially relevant given that you also get a modifier to it based on the level that you get randomly assigned for each Pokemon whenever you join a battle, which most likely will change the stats of the Pokemon that you get. You can create a team by clicking on the Pokemon that you'd like to add, which then you see added up at the top here. The move buttons allow you to select the move that you'd like to give the Pokemon. The moves that are available here are the ones that are available for this Pokemon to learn. So if a Pokemon doesn't have a move, it simply won't be shown here. And so let's finish creating a team here. So now that we have our team ready to go with moves selected, we are able to save the team. And it won't show up immediately, but if you refresh the page, it will be updated so that you're able to now see your team. And now we can move on to the live battle. When you click battle, either one, you'll be sent into this middle live area, a queue, where the next available person will be then added to your room, where you can then start the battle. So here in the battle, you're able to click on any attack here or swap your Pokemon. This is the main screen where you see the health and the level of your Pokemon currently. And the battle log is used so that we can look back to see what happened in each round, which will be more clear as to why later. So if we use poison gas here and fire spin here, you can now see everything that happened. The moves all take place. Everything is calculated and then printed at the same time. Charizard moved first because it's faster, and it used fire spin, dealt damage. Muck used poison gas, which afflicted poison on Charizard. And whenever something is poisoned, it'll be dealt damage at the end of the turn. So we see it taking effect here, and it's lowered Charizard's health. So if we use now Thunderbolt and Fire Spin, Charizard goes first again because it is still faster. Muck uses Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt is an electric type move, which is strong against flying types. So it deals extra damage to Charizard. It's super effective. Charizard faints as it's now in less than 0 health. And it prompts both of the users to switch Pokemon if they'd like. If you would like to keep the same Pokemon, you would just click on the same Pokemon icon here. So if we switched over to Machamp and Charizard was swapped out for Paris, there is no type advantage here, so you can just use Low Kick here and Leech Life. Machamp goes first because Machamp is faster than Paris. It's hard to tell because it all happens at once, but Paris Leech Life is a move that heals the one that uses it. So we can assume that the health that Paris is at now is higher than the health that it would have been if it didn't heal. And it also dealt a little bit of damage. And then if we use a move like Takedown, then Machamp takes recoil damage, as it's one of the few moves that when using it, you also deal damage to oneself, which we see here. Its health went down. This also knocked out Paris, so we are both prompted to select another Pokemon. If we were to keep Machamp in and then swap Mew in on user's team, swapping will always take priority over anything else. So if Mew was to use an attack, even though Mew is faster than Machamp by almost 100%, if we swap out a Pokemon, it'll swap first, and then Mew will use its move. It was super effective. This knocks out Muck, which prompts us to swap Pokemon again. User has no more Pokemon available, so we can keep Mew in by clicking on Mew. And we can swap in Machamp again. Moves like Swords Dance are status-changing moves that allow the user to upgrade their stats or lower the opponent's stats. In this case, Swords Dance will increase the attack of Mew, and we can use Toxic on Mew, which doesn't do any damage, but it does afflict Mew with poison. So at the end of the turn, Mew was damaged with poison, and the attack was increased by 66%, the attack stat for Mew. So now if we use Psychic here, and Machamp uses Low Kick, Machamp faints. That's the last Pokemon that Q has, so that's the end of the game. And then you're prompted with the win or lose based on whether or not you won or lost. And then you can return to main menu, and that's all. Thank you.